What's going on, everybody? This is Al from NCAA 06 Revival. And in the last video, I broke down some of the reasons why I wanted to close the Furman Dynasty and why I wanted to start a new dynasty. And today is the preseason video of that new dynasty. I'm super excited about all the changes that are coming, all the challenges that will be coming with that as well. We'll get into that a little bit later. But for now, let's start the dynasty. We're going to go to Game Modes, Dynasty Mode. We're going to go to New. And I'm going to go with an FCS school. So we're going to add that FCS school. And that is the Maine Black Bears. I'm super excited for this team for lots of reasons. First, their uniforms are really slick. I love their color palette, their combo of the dark blue, the navy blue, the baby blue. Both home and away uniforms look really cool. On top of that, I love the location. The location is really neat. Up in Maine, you're going to see some snow games. You're going to see me recruit some states I've never recruited out of. Of course, there's not going to be much there. If you know your U.S. geography at all, Maine is not surrounded by a bunch of hotbed recruiting states. I'm surrounded by Canada, Vermont, New Hampshire, Connecticut, New York, Delaware, Rhode Island. I mean, there's just not a lot there. So that's a unique challenge recruiting-wise. On top of some other cool things, I just like the whole aesthetic. Plus, their home field, it's a lot like a high school stadium across the board. It's got the artificial turf, which is my favorite type of field in this game. On top of, there's nothing on the field. It's literally like watching a high school game, which is pretty cool. And one of the reasons why I picked Maine is I had some inspiration from the North Penn Knights up in Pennsylvania. I don't know if you've ever seen the documentary on YouTube about North Penn football back in 1999. They have like the same uniforms, the same type of field, all that stuff. So that kind of what drew some inspiration for me to pick Maine. So let's go ahead and take the Black Bears and we're going to switch them out with Temple. Now, one thing I want to mention, we'll switch them out. And we're going to pick Maine. Let's go to Maine. And somebody made a really good point in the comment section. We're keeping the contracts on, but I found out that you don't take over the coach prestige of the coach that you replace. That is only if you turn contracts off. If you turn contracts off, you automatically get a 6-star coach prestige, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I don't know why they've done that, but whatever. We are going to put contracts on. It puts more pressure on me. I talked about that in the previous video. Plus, I just think it gives the dynasty a whole lot more oomph, if you will. Okay? So, we're going to keep them as an independent. What I want to do is I want to go as far as I can until maybe I get invited to a big Power 5 conference. Where Maine is located, that could be the ACC, the Big Ten, Big East, who knows. But I'm going to stay as an independent up to that point. Okay? So let's edit the coach. We'll put in our usual stuff here. Got to find the letters. Now, Sexton Light, we're going to go blonde, got to go mullet, and small. Okay. And we will, I think everything's good to go. We're going to hit continue. We're going to begin the dynasty. The first thing we're going to do is go to the coaching stuff. And here's what I'm really excited about. A lot of the offensive and defensive stuff you're going to see. I love their logo. I think it's pretty slick. The big old black bear logo. And just their color combination is just awesome. This shouldn't take too long. Okay, let's go straight to coach options. Now, the playbook, this is for simulations, so it doesn't really matter what I pick here. I'm just going to go to something that's somewhat close to what I'm going with. Offensive type. Now, here's the offense that I'm going to run. First of all, thanks for all the tips and ideas everybody's given me. If you remember the last video, I wanted to stress how I wanted to adapt to my roster year to year, and that's what I'm going to do. But instead of switching out formations every single year to fit my talent, I wanted to create the biggest playbook that I could think of. The most diverse in terms of personnel, formations, what have you. And we'll check out the playbook here in a minute. But the offense is going to be based off, whatever talent that I have. But you're going to see a lot of different formations. And it's going to differ every single season, but without me having to bother switching out sets every single season. So we'll look at that a little bit later. Because I'm using so many formations and different types of plays and whatnot, you would think I would go with balance because my playbook's going to feature, some fullback stuff, some tight end stuff. But if you go with balance, the game forces you to have at least 2 tight ends at all times. And at least three tight ends and 2 fullbacks. I want to go spread only because it only requires me to have 1 fullback, even though I want at least a couple at all times. And I'm only required to get a couple tight ends. Yet I want to at least have 3. It's a lot easier to get 6 receivers than to have at least 2 fullbacks plus 2 tight ends. For me it is. It always just seems easier. Plus, with a spread offense, I should be able to get both pro style and spread option or speedy quarterbacks. I'm going to recruit both. It just kind of whatever the recruiting comes my way, I'll adjust to that talent. Okay. Base defense, I'm going to keep it as a 4-3, but I'm going to kind of run whatever I need to. Just like on offense, I'm going to fit my defense to my roster. So you may see within a season, I may have the talent to run both a 4-3 and the 4-2-5. I don't know. But what I do know is I love a 4-down line. So I'm going to keep it a 4-3, but you're going to see 4-3, some nickel, some 4-4, some 4-2-5. Again, it just kind of depends on what I have on the back end. Okay. Code. This is all simulation, so I'm just put this at even across the board. Do the same for the defense. All this will be handled by myself. Okay, let's go to recruiting. We got to take all this off. And, okay, I like what we're seeing here. Let's go to report card. Now it says I'm a coach, 1-star coach prestige. Congratulations on being appointed the new coach at Maine. You see here, have a winning season, receive a bowl bid. Now with contracts on, we just got to hope for the best. Hopefully you don't get fired after a year or 2. I hope that doesn't happen. But I'm super excited about having that turned on top of Notre Dame being in there as much as I can't stand them. I think it just makes more sense to switch with Temple. That also means, we'll get to the discipline bar later. I have a high discipline bar. Okay, let's go straight to playbooks since we're talking about scheme and whatnot. Here's the playbook. I wanted to put a playbook together that simulates an NFL playbook. One of my favorite coaches, Mike Pettin, and this is funny. This is the guy who was the head coach of North Penn back in the late 90s. I've read a quote from him saying a lot of NFL playbooks are really huge. We kind of all know that to begin with, but a lot of the good coaches trim it down every year to fit their roster. So they may use like a third of the roster at a time. So that's what I'm doing here. So all 9 of these formations give me as much good plays as I can think of. Every single one of these sets has at least 10 or so plays that I just really like. On top of that, what I said earlier, I got a lot of different personnel groupings. I pretty much got every single one of them covered. From 00 to 23. 23 is 2 running backs, 3 tight ends. That's goal line. We all have that in our playbook. But then you got 12 personnel. I got 2 12 personnel sets. Those 12 is one of the most common personnel groupings in football in general. But we got 2 12s. We got a 22 personnel. I form twins, tight ends. I like a lot of stuff out of that. Then we got 21 personnel out of I twins. Then we got my favorite 20 personnel grouping, which is gun 2-back slot. Then we got gun normal and gun trips over. 11 personnel is the most common personnel groupings out there. 2 of those. I got 1 4-wide set, 10 personnel, gun spread, and I got gun 5 wide. And when you look at our roster here in a little bit, you'll notice kind of which formations I'll be using more often than others. I'll probably use about a third of this playbook this year. But at least 3 years from now, I may use the other half. It just depends on what talent I bring in. So at least this gives me a wide array of personnel groupings, plays, you name it. It's about the fattest playbook I could think of. That gives me kind of everything I want without having to switch all this stuff out every single year. That gets kind of old. Also, let's go to audibles. I've already fixed some of these. I got a lot of big-time plays in here in terms of like making big plays. You'll see a lot of, if you see cover 0, a lot of deep stuff. You see some wide receiver runs, and you'll see that the reason why here in a minute. Halfback streak, slot seams, just a lot of deep stuff, big shot just in case. So with that, let's go straight to our roster. Let's do that via the red shirts. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go to our red shirts. And you'll see what we have here. And that's kind of all in gray. Let's make that a little bit easier for us to read. Let's just go to rosters. Okay, I got a total of 46 players. 4, 15, 12, and 15 in terms of the classes. And as you can see here, I got a defensive end, a halfback, and a wide receiver as my impact players. I got a halfback and my receiver are both my 2 big studs. Everything's going to go through them. So this year, the ball is going to be given to one of these 2 guys 95% of the time. And then it drops off big time after that. I do not have a whole lot to work with. As you can tell, this is probably a little bit lesser talented roster than the Furman. Only because quarterback situation doesn't look all that great. So you're going to see me this year how I would handle running an offense that doesn't have much of a quarterback to use. So you see the quarterback situation here. It's obvious we need some help here in the worst way. And again, like I said before, I'm going to go after both pro style and speedy quarterbacks. Just I'll get whatever I can and I'll adjust later. Again, that's the whole point of the offense. You adjust to the talent. Halfback, I got 1 awesome stud running back. He's a senior and nothing behind him. So if he goes down, we're in a world of hurt. Nothing at fullback. 1 really good wide receiver. Look how small he is, 5'9", 170. He's a speedster, though. I mean, for Maine's purposes, I guess. So he's going to get the ball a whole lot. That's why you saw some of those wide receiver runs in the audibles from earlier. Nothing at tight end. Offensive line, actually their offensive line is a little bit better than what we have at Furman, but it's still terrible. I mean, 59 and 52. 65, which actually isn't bad for Maine. 52 at the other spot. 65 at center. So that's actually not a bad offensive line. And they're kind of young. Defensive-wise, again, I'm going to stick with a 4-down lineman group throughout the whole dynasty. We got a really good defensive end. He's only a sophomore. If he could just stay healthy, that would be great. But he's got nothing behind him. Defensive tackle-wise, this is really cool. Brian Greer, my best defensive tackle. Look how big he is. 6'1", 365 pounds. That's a monster. He's not very good, though, but at least maybe he can shove somebody around. Who knows? His strength is at a 90. That helps. And it's going to be hard for offensive linemen to move him around some. So that's cool to see. Middle line or outside linebackers, not much there, no speed whatsoever. Middle linebacker, no speed whatsoever. So you can tell linebacker is a big need for me this year. Not much at corner, but a 59 and a 56, that's a whole lot better than these guys in the 40s at the linebacker positions. So it looks like I'll be probably running some nickel maybe just because my third best corner's got 78 speed, which is doable. Look how big he is, though. He looks like a linebacker. 6'3", 212. He may be better off playing outside linebacker. I may try that in the depth chart. We'll check that out here in a minute. 1 free safety, and not much there to begin with. Strong safety, nothing there. So, defense is going to be kind of tough. Kicker, a sophomore, 56, and terrible punter. So I need bodies everywhere. That's pretty obvious. But I want you to kind of get an idea of what we're going to do with the roster. Okay? There was something else I was going to do. What was I thinking? I had something on my mind. We'll think about that later. Apparently it wasn't important. Okay. Yes, while we're here, this wasn't it, but program standards. Okay, interesting. I thought I was going to take over Temple's NCAA team interest, but maybe I'm not. Maybe you take over no, I think this is what it is. I think each AA team has its own interest bar. So if my NCAA team interest is actually kind of low, I'm actually surprised by that. I always thought you took over the other team's NCAA team interest. So that kind of tells me you don't take over anything, the team that you replace, which is kind of a good thing. So that's pretty cool to see. Okay, let's go ahead and go to, while we're in roster mode, let's go to redshirt players. Now, one of my big tips with the FCS schools, there's no need to really redshirt many of these guys because they're all terrible. 59 and 56, I may redshirt one of these guys. I don't think it matters much. We can redshirt this one right here, I guess. A couple of these guys, I mean, Williams will barely play. I think Owens is going to get the ball a whole lot, but at least need a backup. So I'll redshirt him. The rest of these, I'm going to be in some spread sets because I have some plays that kind of fit Gordon's talents, and I'm not redshirting a 48 overall guy. Just kind of looking here. I don't have the depth hardly anywhere to redshirt anyways. Defensive tackle, I'm not going to waste my time redshirting a guy that's 44 overall. Same here. That may be it. I need to keep this guy just because he's got a little bit of speed. So that's kind of it. I'm going to redshirt that one halfback just in case. Owens is a senior. If he leaves and I can't get a running back, at least I got two guys that I may be able to try to do something next year. But I'm guessing I'll probably have no problem getting a halfback in the offseason. But he's not one I'm going to redshirt. Now we'll go to the schedule. I'm going to do the same thing like I've done with Furman. We're going to keep it pretty realistic. Only have one ranked team on here. Otherwise, we're going to soften it up as best we can. And one thing I need to check. I forgot about that. Who were my... I totally forgot about... I don't know who my rivals are. I was going to pick a AA school, and I don't know who that is. Dang it. We'll adjust that later. I'm not too worried about that. Let's go... Let's put the 12th one here. I don't know who that would be. Let's just look here. Think Atlantic 10. Pretty much any team in the Atlantic 10 would be in my... or would be a rival. I should have looked that up and I didn't do that. Like Delaware. Let's do Delaware. I think Delaware is probably a rival. Let's do them at home. Now the rest of these we got to soften this up. I want to take a ranked team and play them. I have no choice but to play Arizona State. Looks like I have no choice. I guess they're my ranked team. We'll just leave it at that. I'm going to leave that as an open. We got no choice. So the rest of this, we got to think bad teams. But I'm not going to add any more AA schools. So let's just go down here. Villanova. Let's just... Utah State. Going to be doing some hard traveling. They got uniforms that are kind of close to what I have. I want to keep it somewhat in the Northeast. At least a little. UMass is probably another rival of ours. The Louisiana schools. Tulsa, Tulane, Troy. I don't mind the home and away for a lot of these. So what we're going to do... Let's do a road game here. Let's just fix this one. We'll work our way backwards. I want to play Syracuse as well. So we may try to fit them in somewhere. Let's do Florida International. I may do another home game here. We may just backload our schedule with home games. Tulane. Let's do Army. We'll do Army. Miami, I may switch them out with somebody else. Southern. Miami's kind of close. We could do there. Okay, now we'll do some road games. Let's go here. North Texas. That's our artificial turf against artificial turf. We could do Louisiana Tech. This kind of gets me going all over the country here. Got another home game here. Not many options here. Navy, TCU. We could do Kent State. And then we'll road schedule this thing here. Ole Miss, North Carolina, Navy, Maryland. Maryland may be like the other team. Let's do Central Michigan. At Bowling Green. I want to find Syracuse. Let's do Syracuse. That's about the closest Power 5 school towards us outside of Boston College. And we played Boston College last in the Furman thing, so I kind of want to do something a little different. We'll do a home game here with Troy. That's kind of on the East Coast. Let's go to the very top. Bowling Green. I've already done a lot of ECU. Is this a home game or an away game? That's a home game. San Jose State, probably. That may be a good idea. Here's another home game. San Diego State, Rice. I ain't playing Rice. I'd get killed. Not with that option offense. That'd be tough. Already done the Ohio thing. Otherwise, I would have picked them. Northern Illinois, they're pretty good for their Mexico State. I've already picked a WAC team. I'm trying to think of teams I haven't played in a while. Nevada, they are in the Mountain West, aren't they? Or no, I think they're WAC. Missouri, Middle Tennessee State, I may do them. Memphis. Here's another artificial turf team. Let's just do Middle Tennessee. That gives me a local thing just because I'm a Tennessee kid. And a road game somewhere. UAB, Tulsa, Tulane. Those are some Conference USA schools. Haven't played Troy in a long time. That gets me down in Alabama. Temple, they're AA now technically. Stanford, Southern Miss, Southern, Southeastern, SMU. Rutgers may be a good one. Already have Syracuse and Arizona State on there. Otherwise, I might play Syracuse next year on the road. We can do that. That could replace Syracuse next year. I'll try not to forget that. Rhode Island, of course. Rhode Island is probably a... Let's do Rhode Island. I may do Rhode Island instead of whoever I had down below. I don't know. They're probably a rival as well. Purdue. Let's keep going. This is the last one, thankfully. Pennsylvania may be a state I may recruit, but I'm 40 loaded up. I need to pick another bad team. Ohio, Northwestern, Northern Arizona. I may do New Mexico State. That's at home. I've already done a WAC school. New Mexico, they're actually pretty good, aren't they? Let's just keep going. It'll hit me as soon as I see it. Michigan, Miami, Memphis. I've already done the Tennessee team. I got MTSU. Marshall may be a good option. They're kind of close, sort of. Not really, but there's not a whole lot of teams up in the Northeast, just to be honest. Kansas State, Kansas. Kansas may be a... Let's just keep going. It's on the road, isn't it? So let's go... Is Duke on here? We can try Duke. We can add another. They're terrible, but at least... Nope, they're not on there. Let me go back real quick. I've already got a Florida school on there. We can do add Hawaii. That's always fun. So let's make sure we got 6 and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's our schedule. Arizona State, I hate we're playing them out of the gate, but that's what happens when you take on Temple. They're the only team available in week 1, and you can't change them out. It is what it is. So that's my one ranked team. And we got Syracuse on there. And like I said, I'm pretty sure Delaware, the Blue Hens, are a rival of ours. We'll find out. I'll check that later. I'll probably switch this game out every year. But at least we're kind of going all over the place, all over the country. Louisiana, Michigan. Of course, we're going to Syracuse. At Hawaii. Just all my road games are like way far off. Almost. I mean, way far off. We're going all over the country. So I think that's a pretty good schedule. Okay. We've done the red shirting. We got that out of the way. We've got... Let's go back to rosters and do our captains. Owens is our offensive captain. And I'm guessing DeVito is probably, he's a junior. He's our defensive captain. Let's do our defensive end as our captain. No, let's do seniors. If we can find a senior defensive lineman or just defensive player. Let's go with this guy right here. Jared Gomes and Owens. We got two seniors. Okay. All that's good to go. Now let's go to Athlon Sports. There's not a whole lot to see here. I'm sure they have us dead last, and they do. Go Black Bears. Let's before we get into this, I want to show you their uniforms real quick. We can go right here. Okay, here's their home uniforms. Those are awesome. I love the blue outline, the baby blue outline around the numbers. I love the all navy blue. I just think it looks really slick. And their away uniforms is basically just a white jersey. Everything else stays the same. I think that's just really cool looking. Okay, now let's go back to Athlon Sports. The only thing we really need to see here is, honestly, there's not much else to see. Nothing is going to affect us. We're not even in a conference. They got us fourth and independent, but that doesn't really matter. Let's go to recruiting. Now, we need to check, I'm curious to see what states they have us as a pipeline. Let's just go through these. Alabama, Alaska will not be a pipeline. That's too far off. Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado. Connecticut will probably be a pipeline. They're pretty close to us. We'll have to, I need to write these down. I'm going to forget because we got a lot of little states close to Maine. We're going to go CT. So we may have 4 or 5. And I just dropped my pen. Good job, Al. If I could find it. I got my lights turned off. That was smart. Okay. I can't seem to find it, so we'll get to it later. Okay. Let's go back. Delaware is not a pipeline, but I'm only expecting not much from Delaware anyways. But we may recruit Delaware, though, just because it's close. Let's keep going. Indiana, let me check something real quick. Let me turn on my flashlight. There it is. Okay, got my pen back. And let me turn this back off. Okay, let's keep going. Iowa, no. Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana. There's Maine. We got a 4-star fullback. We're definitely going to go after this kid. Let's just go ahead and put one on him. You got to get everybody you can out of your own state. And Maine is not going to offer much. But he runs a 4.56. So who knows? All right, let's keep going. Maryland will definitely be one. Probably. I'm going to put these in 2 separate lists. I'm going to put Maryland and Delaware on one side. And Connecticut is definitely a pipeline. Massachusetts they have as a pipeline. Interesting. I've just never recruited from these states before. They got a free safety there. Maybe 6'2" too. Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada. New Hampshire is not one, but it may well be one. So will Vermont when we get to it. New Jersey. I forgot New Jersey. Oh, yeah, that's a pipeline. Well, and they got some talent. New Jersey may be a big pipeline for us. Jersey Shore. Okay. We'll definitely do New Jersey. I forgot about New York will probably be another one. Yes, New York. That's a definite. Outside of that, I'm not going to go into Pennsylvania any. I think that's too far off. I've done some search on Google and kind of noticed that Pennsylvania is pretty far off from Maine, especially Orono, Maine, where the university is located. Keep going, Oregon, Pennsylvania. Like I said, I'm not going to go with I think New Jersey and New York can give me everything I need, plus all the little other ones like Rhode Island. Here's a 4-star at a corner at Rhode Island. I'm going to put them down. They're not a pipeline, but just got to make sure we can go after them possibly. He's a 4-star, so I won't go after him. He may be my one lone 4-star, maybe outside of the fullback I just went after. Keep going. Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont. Is not a pipeline. Man, he's a 4-star. Man. We won't go after him, but Virginia, that's too far down. Washington, Wisconsin, Wyoming. I want Canada to be. Canada is really close. I mean, I think Orono is real close to Montreal and Ontario, Canada right there. So I want Canada to definitely be a pipeline eventually. So I'm going to work on that. I'm going to put a circle around that one. Make that a V instead of a U. Okay. DC. I need to check DC if that's close. I don't know if it is. I think it's kind of far off from Maine. Like, more far off than you may think. Maine's a really big state, and Orono is kind of like right dead center of the state. Okay. Let's go back, and we've already got the kid from Maine. Let's go to Connecticut and see what we got here. Now, it says my offense is going to be just completely tailored to whatever talent I have. I'm not very picky on what I get. Not really. So let's go. What we can't. Gosh, I need everything. Let's go down the list and just see what we find in our pipeline states. Let's go to the 3 stars. Tennessee, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Minnesota, Florida, California, Oklahoma. This will make things real easy when you go through the positions. Alabama, Kansas, North Carolina, Tennessee, Arizona. Nothing quarterback-wise, so I'm not going to go after any of them. Even this Pennsylvania kid, if I have one spare left, I may try him. Otherwise, I'm not seeing anything there. So we can keep on going. Let's go halfback. Surely we can at least find one guy. Again, I'm not too picky. What I find here, I'll work with it if I can get him to come up north, wherever he's from. Let's see. Let's keep going. California, Louisiana, Ohio, Missouri, Indiana, Michigan, Indiana, South Dakota, PA, Pennsylvania, Hawaii, Connecticut. I may go after this kid. He's not very fast, but he's pretty big. He's really strong. Looks like a good downhill runner. I may put one on him. Let's just go. He'll be our 1. So I don't see any halfbacks up in the Northeast. So we're already going after the 1 fullback. So let's keep going. Let's go to receiver. I'm sure I need talent there, and I do. We're going to do 1 from each, at least majority of the offense. I'm going to at least go after probably 7 offensive guys, and the other 5 spots will go to defensive guys. So let's go down to the 3 stars. Texas, Florida, Oklahoma, Kentucky, Wisconsin, Indiana, Arkansas, Idaho, Texas, California, Washington, Mississippi, Arizona. Here's a kid out of New Jersey, 4'4", 6. I like his size. He's got pretty good speed, and he's pretty strong. 470 on the squat. Let's go after him, unless there's somebody else I'm down here, and there isn't. So that works out perfectly. He could be our 1 wide receiver we can go after. Isaiah Brown. Tight end. Yes, we need talents, so let's see what we can find here. Now, when it comes to tight ends, I prefer to get somebody who can actually help us out in terms of he can catch the ball at least. But let's just look here, see what's available. Oh. Kid out of New York. He's a blocking tight end. 370, 470. I may go after, because we're going to run the ball some whenever we got the talent to do so, that type of thing. Is he more important than offensive lineman? And I got 9 spots, so let me just put down his name. And I may go back to him. I'm not ready to put a scholarship on him yet. Let's go S. Cook, tight end. Okay, we'll skip him just for now. If we got an extra spot, we'll go back and put it on him. Offensive lineman's more important. We can scheme around no tight ends. You can't do that around linemen. It's a lot harder. Let's go to the 3 stars. And here I am kind of picky. I want guys who are really huge that are tough to move around. I'm seeing a lot of Pennsylvania. New Jersey. Awesome. Middlesboro, Kentucky. That's right up the road. Oh, I want to recruit that kid, but probably won't have a chance. That's awesome, though. Awesome. Okay. Summit, New Jersey. 6'4", 290. Let's put one on him just for now. And that's it. He'll be our 1 tackle we'll go after. Awesome, though. Kid out of Millsboro, Kentucky. Okay. Guard. Let's find another one. Somebody huge, preferably. That's close. Pennsylvania. I'm seeing a lot of Ohio kids. Florida, California. Here's a kid out of New York. 6'4", 328. I love his size. Oh, yes. 490 on the bench. 670 on the squat. Absolutely. Now, we may have another one here. Nope, that's it. Oh, Glasgow. I got an uncle that lives there. Awesome. That's so cool. That's about 4 hours from where I live. That's awesome. Middlesboro, Kentucky, Glasgow, Kentucky. That's pretty sweet. So that works out perfectly. Brian Clayton, he's perfect for what we want to try to do. Center, I'm sure we need some help there. Let's go to 3 stars. Kid out of Jersey right here. And it looks like that's perfect. He's our 1, and that's the end of the list. 460. He's not the strongest, but we'll take what we can get, and we need help big time on offensive line. So we got 6 spots left. So I actually have more spots than I was thinking. I want to go after okay, let's just keep going. I still got Cook's name listed there. Defensive end, I would prefer to go after 2 middle linebackers instead, so I'm going to skip the defensive ends for now. We're going to go defensive tackle. Find a big guy if we can that's local. Illinois, Ohio, Florida. Maryland, we may go at 6'1", 280. That's really small. He's pretty strong, though. 640 on the squat. He's tall, at least. We may go after him. Let's keep going. Kid out of DC, 425, 35. That's actually even lighter. That's not even, he's a little bit heavier. 6'1", 285, 425, 35. So 425, 35. 440, 640. I think this pipeline's more important, so we'll just go after him. He's a little bit bigger. He's a little bit heavier, too. Not as strong. Like, not even close. Man, he's weak as sauce, but we need bodies there. That's a tough. 440, 640. Let's just go ahead and put that on the Maryland kid. Was that going to... Is Maryland a... I don't know if Maryland's worth going after. I'm not worried. Let's just go with him for right now. He's very smart. That's a positive. We got to keep New York as a pipeline. Whatever it takes. Okay. Outside linebacker, we need some speed here. I need bodies at middle linebacker. I need to get 2 middle linebackers, a corner, free safety. So that's 5 in total. Okay, so I'm going to skip outside linebacker now because we got bodies there, as you can tell. But we need 2 middle linebackers at least, a corner, free safety, and a strong safety. So that's 5 total. We got 5 spots left. So let's go to middle linebacker. Let's try to find 2 of these guys if we can. Go down to the 3-star. Maryland kid, 4'2", 6'3", 230, or 6 feet, 239. 4'5", 6'5", 230. Yes, because he can play defensive end. down the road if we need him to. Dave Washington. I thought I saw something there. Maybe not. Alabama, Michigan, South Carolina, West Virginia, Idaho. Okay, let's go back up to that kid from Maryland. Corner. We need to find a very tall corner if we can. Speed is great, but height is even better. Pennsylvania, no. Ohio. Oh, yeah. Kyle Pennington. We saw him from earlier. He's tall. He's really fast. Yes. Unless we find somebody even better, which is possible. Okay, that worked out perfectly. He's our ideal corner. Maybe we can get lucky and get him. Free safety. Need a body here. I need some speed to cover a lot of field. New Jersey and Massachusetts. I may go after this kid from Massachusetts. He's taller and he's faster. He's not as strong, but I don't need a strong free safety. I need a fast, strong safety. And his height helps even more. So we're going to go after Joe Montgomery out of Lexington, Mass. Man, we got one more spot. Let's try to find a strong safety. Let's go back to the threes. There we go. Okay. Nebraska, Arkansas. Nothing at strong safety that I'm liking here. And I couldn't, so that means we got one spot left, and we already got the 4-star from our own state plugged in. So let's just go back to that tight end. And that worked out perfectly. We got one spot for him. Shane Cook. All right, good deal. So we got all 12 spots ready to go. And that is it, because we played week 1 against Arizona State. I wish it would have switched. I'd love to play them in week 2, but I can't. It just won't let me. Okay. So come on back. We'll take on Arizona State, and hopefully you're going to enjoy this. I think I'm going to have a ton of fun. I love the diversity of the offense. We're going to see a little bit of everything throughout the Dynasty. The defense is going to be the same way. We're all just trying to adapt to our talent and see if we can turn Maine into a powerhouse. This is going to be quite the challenge. I don't know if you've really paid attention to this, but recruiting will always be hard. And I don't know. It's just going to be real tough. I don't have a whole lot to work with this first couple seasons, but I'm going to see what I can do with it. I can't wait. I hope you're going to enjoy it as well. So come on back. We'll take on the Sun Devils, and I'll talk to you later.